you bind down the government to a particular prescription, the results can be very negative.
According to the FM, the coal scam figure of loss of 1,86,000 crore will also be a figure of fantasy. The minister who is running away from any probe and accountability of his role in 2G scam is indulging into the brazen insinuation of CAG is condemnable.
Hello and welcome to We Mean Business. The 2G auction debacle has been hogging headlines for the past few days. The government feels its stand about the CAG's 1.76 lakh crore rupee loss figure has been vindicated. But what's more interesting, or rather what's been made in the post-mortem, is even more interesting, with the finance minister's claims that the CAG's 1.86 lakh crore rupee presumptive loss figure on the Coalgate scam would also turn out to be a myth. Is there merit in what the finance minister is saying? And more importantly, are there any lessons to be learned from the 2G auctions as the government prepares for auctioning of coal blocks? Joining me to debate this is a power-packed panel. Dr. Subramanian Swamy, President of the Janata Party. He joins us from our Delhi studios. Also joining us from Delhi is Suresh Prabhu, former Power Minister. And here in the Mumbai studio, we have Mr. Sanjay Jha of HamaraCongress.com. We'll also get you a view later in the show from S. Narsingh Rao, Chairman of Coal India, on the show. I want to begin with Mr. Swamy. Sir, your initial reaction on the Finance Minister's comments that the 1.86 lakh crore rupee loss figure by the CAG is going to be a myth. And do you think rather that after this debacle of the 2G auctions that the 1.76 lakh crore rupee figure has also been a myth?
Well, I think this finance minister's great performance when he was a student is not he has not improved on those days. It appears that he doesn't know his elementary mathematics. When the calculation was done for 1,76,000, the calculation which a person like me accepted was the price was paid by Swan and Unitech to the government, which was 1,600 crores for 4 megahertz of spectrum, and they sold it for about 8 times. The Tata sold about 50% of its license, in a sense, for 13 times to Docomo. Sistema, same thing. So we put an average figure of about 10 times. That is, if the government had reaped the market price as these private companies reaped after getting the spectrum from the government, you come to a very close figure of 1,76,000 crores. That was on the basis. Now, none of us were in favor. I was a petitioner along with Mr. Bhushan, who of course came in on a special leave petition because he had first gone to the High Court and it was dismissed. I went straight to the Supreme Court, and neither of us were arguing that the licenses should be cancelled because you can get more money by auction. We wanted to cancel because it was a stinking corruption, and we thought that the best way to set the tone, improve the tone in the country, is by cancelling the licenses and then ordering an auction.
Sir,
in any case, whatever money has come...
So you're giving us the history of how they arrived at it, but my question really is, why then couldn't the government raise the target that it had set for itself when it really went ahead with this auction of these licenses? Today, Montek Singh saying that in fact the government priced the spectrum wrongly, but clearly the CAG would have taken all of these things into account as well when they arrived at this 1.76 lakh crore rupee loss figure.
No, listen, you asked me a question, how Mr. Chidambaram says that the CAG estimate has been blown sky high. I explained to you what basis the CAG got that estimate in 2008, or when the report came out, which was 2010. So what I'm now saying is, now you're asking me a second question, which is why was this not all taken into account when the government made an estimate we'll get 7 lakh crores or 4 lakh crores or 40,000 for the first round, etc. Well, that's because the government may have said anything, but what they did was, in terms of what they did for existing operators, saying that if they bid, then for both their spare spectrum and when their licenses of the 1994 come up for renewal in 2 years' time, they will have to pay the auction price. And there were other things. There were these spectrum utilization rates. They were changed, and they changed it in such a way that if you got instead of four spectrum, you'll have one rate. 4 megahertz, you'll have one rate. If you get 8, then the whole thing will be at a higher rate, including what you had before. So I would certainly say the government rigged the auction, but I didn't care because I wanted the license to be cancelled. It was a stinking, corrupt act that took place in 2008, and therefore the licenses had to be cancelled.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for Retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.